morning, Asean. Freshen up your world, your thought, and your idea with us every weekday from 7:30 to 8 a.m. I'm Patsurang Desha Putharangsi.
And I'm here with you, Nirasha Malisak-Lamir. Today is Tuesday, 28th of May 2013, starting with the tension between the Taiwan and the Philippines over the death of a fisherman. As a delegation from the Philippines met with Taiwanese prosecutors yesterday for investigation into the fatal shootings of a Taiwanese fisherman by the Philippine Coast Guard in waters of the northern part of the Philippines. Diplomatic tensions over the incident heightened last week when Taiwan recalled its envoy to the Philippines and imposed sanctions on Manila. Danny Daganzo from the Philippines National Bureau of Investigation said that Philippines want to get hold of the autopsy report conducted by this institution at the Forensic Institute, and Philippines will have it translated. The Philippine Coast Guard has admitted to the shooting the fisherman on May 9 incident, but say that it was done in self-defense when a fishing vessel tried to ram their ship. The Pingtung District Chief Prosecutor Shi Xingming said that the Filipino delegation has provided the bullet samples from the Coast Guard ships to help with ballistic comparisons. Both countries have agreed to hold a parallel investigation with close coordination between the two investigation teams.
According to the American Chamber of Commerce in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam, a proposed trade deal between several Pacific Rim countries is expected to benefit foreign businesses based in Vietnam, whether or not they're from the member countries. The Trans-Pacific Partnership TPP, according to Josephine Ye, a representative of the Malaysia Business Chamber, which is the TPP which is being negotiated, would make it easier to find partners once the tariffs are cut by the members. She said Vietnam's major export items like garment, seafood, and processed materials would meet fewer barriers, and Malaysian businesses in these industries would benefit from the TPP. She added that the admission to the TPP would require Vietnamese authorities to improve the country's legal framework, which would enable Malaysian businesses to gain better protection and access to proper channels for handling trade disputes and arbitration. But Malaysian businesses would still have some concerns, since under the trade deal, workers would have the right to set up unions and negotiate the provisions of their labor contracts with employers. According to Ye, in a country they find attractive because of the easy access to labor, so they fear this could make things harder for them in the future. So considering moving on to the Taiwanese Chamber of Commerce, according to Chen Xiangming, chairman of the chamber, considering the potential of the TPP, there should be more FDI coming into Vietnam in the coming years. For instance, the organization has noticed that some Taiwanese investors in the textile industry plan to enlarge production in Vietnam. The Taiwanese Chamber of Commerce has noticed some large investors conducting comprehensive feasibility studies for investment in the country. So they're actually looking at enhanced market access opportunities once tariff elimination or reduction under the TPP is in effect.
The government of Japan has provided more than 558.7 billion gi, or around 7.4 billion yen, to fund 3 projects in Laos. According to the report, Japan, the largest provider of financial assistance to Laos, is providing more than 417 billion gi in loans that will be used to finance the expansion of the Nam Nguyen 1 hydroelectric project, and more than 18.8 billion gi in grants will be provided for human resource development in 2013 to 2014. Meanwhile, the remaining 123.8 billion gi will be used to build a water supply system in Tha Kek District, Kham Mun Province. According to the press release from the Laos Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs Dr. Thongloun Sisulit, who was recently in Tokyo to attend the 19th International Conference on the Future of Asia in Tokyo, which took place on May 23rd to 24th. There, he signed the exchange of notes with his Japanese counterpart Fumio Kishida, who received the financial assistance. Both sides discussed and exchanged views on bilateral relations and cooperations, regional and international issues, and signed the exchange of notes. The Japanese Foreign Ministry said that Tonglun asked for Japanese assistance for an industrial park and urban development project in Vientiane, with Kishida saying that Japan will duly consider it. Kishida added that Tokyo hopes to promote defense exchanges and private sector ties with Vientiane. Japan has been the biggest provider of official development assistance, or ODA, to Laos from 1958 to 2011, with more than $2,097 million of ODA was provided to finance development projects in Laos. Japanese grants and loans have financed 4 primary areas in Laos, which are human resource development, agriculture and forestry, infrastructure development, and hydroelectric development. ODA has greatly contributed to the development of the Laos economy. Last fiscal year, more than $704 million of ODA was provided to Laos by international organizations, friendly states, and other donors.
Moving on from G2G deal to private sector deal still in Laos, as Lao and Thai business operators met in Vientiane last night to discuss their common business outlook before the AEC comes into effect into 2015. Well, the meeting, titled Laos-Thai Outlook 2015, was the first of its kind between the business sectors of the two countries and aimed to create a stronger relationship and deeper understanding between business operators. Discussions provided an opportunity for local and national business people from Laos and Thailand to gain a better understanding of the policies of their governments as they prepare for the AEC. Deputy Minister of Planning and Investment, Mr. Buntwisi Supantong, said over the next 2 years, businesses will aim to develop so they are prepared to compete. Participating in the AEC will be a challenge for Laos, but the country's businesses will strive for growth to boost the country's overall economy in cooperation with other sectors. So to be successful, Laos will need to spend $15 billion, which is being sourced from the government, grant assistance, and banks. But 50 or 60% of this amount will need to come from grant aid from private and international donors. And to achieve these goals, the party and state are carrying out the resolution passed by the 9th Party Congress and working towards the goals of the 7th National Socio-Economic Development Plan. So for Thai investors in Laos, they are operating in the fields of mining and electricity generation in projects such as Sayaburi Hydroelectric Power and its dam and the Hongsa Lignite plant in northern Laos. But these projects are, of course, environmentally controversial.
Right. Now let's have a look at the Myanmar Focus Daily today on the opportunities and challenges of urbanization. With also Kun Orawi Tangmisang has interviewed Florian Steinberg, who is the Senior Urban Development Specialist of the ADB.
Myanmar did not go through any development for decades. Much effort needed to transform major cities into urbanization. The country has set its former capital Yangon to become urbanized with 10 million people by 2040. It seems ambitious for the country that has recently opened up.
There are very, very few cities or countries around the world that have been able to plan for such rapid growth in a proper manner, to be able to cater to all the new demands for housing, for basic services, for infrastructure.
Urbanization brings both opportunities and challenges. For opportunities are, for example, more rapid economic growth. People will have better access to social services, education, and more business opportunities. These opportunities likely attract people living in rural areas to migrate into major cities. The Asian Development Bank predicted by 2050, the figure of urban population in Myanmar will be at a 62.9%, while in Thailand will be at around 60%.
Push factors are quite strong in the rural side. Poverty is high, and economic opportunities in the rural areas are not as high and not as good as in other countries like, for instance, Thailand. And I think that contributes to an accelerated migration and accelerated move away from the rural areas. But it is interesting also that the towns are expected to see a lot of rapid economic growth, and that will also be the pull factor that brings people to the town.
For challenges, Nicholas Yu said the real challenge whether that growth is going to be without pain. The pain such as the real slum formation, urban deprivation, half of the population living without access to water and sanitation or modern energy. There will also be many challenges for Myanmar to overcome in transforming into a more urbanized society, such as maintaining its identity, infrastructure, public utilities, transportation, and financial support systems. The Asian Development Bank has raised concerns about water sanitation, wastewater treatment, and community infrastructure, saying these issues should be priorities for Myanmar. Meanwhile, to accommodate 10 million urbanized people, Nicholas Yu from World Urban Campaign stressed that a comprehensive mass transit system is needed now.
If the metro is inevitable, we need to plan it now. If we don't plan it now and we try to catch up later, how many people's lives do we need to disrupt? How many people need to be displaced? How much do we have to move around in order to accommodate a metro? Right? So I think if we plan now and if we plan ahead, then at least we can hope for a smooth transition to a mega city.
Myanmar is currently trying to attract foreign direct investment, but will this source of income be enough to upgrade the cities? We will explore more on this topic in the next episode of Myanmar Focus Daily. Aravita Misang reporting from Yangon.
Coming up next break, Philippines and Brazil ink Air Services Pact.
Welcome back to Good Morning ASEAN. Cambodian and Swiss senators yesterday pledged to help promote bilateral cooperation, particularly in legal field, economics and trade for mutual benefits. According to a press statement from the Senate of Cambodia after the meeting, the pledge was made during a meeting between First Vice President of the Senate of Cambodia, Say Chum, and visiting President of the Swiss Councils of State or Senate, Filippo Lombardi. In the meeting, Say Chum said that Lombardi's visit was very important to further enhance good friendship relations, solidarity and cooperation between Switzerland and Cambodia, particularly between the two senates. He also thanked the Swiss government for helping Cambodia in health sector development, women and children rights protection, and cultural heritage renovation and conservation. Sejam also asked Lombardi to encourage Swiss investors and business people to Cambodia in order to promote bilateral economic and trade ties. Lombardi agreed that it was very significant to strengthen bilateral ties in legal field, trade and investment in order to create closer relationship between the two countries. He hailed Cambodia for its rapid development in all fields, especially the progress in economy, poverty reduction, and democratic process and rule of law. He also invited Say Chum to visit Switzerland at any convenient time to further promote the bilateral ties. Both Cambodia and Switzerland forged the diplomatic ties since 1967.
The Philippines and Brazil have signed an air services agreement, or ASA, that will pave the way for the two countries' respective carriers to mount daily flights to and from each other's territory. Well, the agreement was initiated at the Brazil's National Civil Aviation Agency. Well, the objective, of course, is to open new destinations for Philippine carriers and boosting Philippine tourism. But according to Bruno Silva del Como, Superintendent of International Relations of ENAC, Brazil considers Philippines as the perfect gateway to Asia. Sigis, for his part, expressed optimism that the ASA will result to further increase in tourism figures and people-to-people exchanges between the two countries. Pending ratification of the ASA, the aeronautical authorities of both countries signed also an MOU granting traffic rights and setting out other operational details for their designated carriers. The ASA is the 11th bilateral agreement between the Philippines and Brazil, and a milestone in the two countries' 53 years of formal diplomatic relations.
And in World Within today, we're going to have a look at the hydrotherapy or aerobics in the water, which is an exercise that allows people who can't actually do it on land, basically people who are overweight or elderly people. So let's have a look. Welcome to World Within, a program that will update everything you need to know about health from top to toe and from the inside through the outside. And for today's program, we're going to have a look at the exercise inside the pool. Did you know that moving underneath the water is another type of exercise for people who have difficulties in doing it on land and to stay fit and firm? And for that, I would like to introduce you to get to know the hydrotherapy. Come with me. Hydrotherapy is a natural kind of exercise which mainly uses water as a main factor during the exercise. Found by a German physician, hydrotherapy is widely practiced in Europe. This type of therapy comes in many kinds and different types of exercise.
Hydrotherapy is a natural way of treatment. It can be traced back into in Europe, ancient Europe, and even nowadays, even in Thailand, we can claim that also in Thailand we have the ancient kind of hydrotherapy too. In Thailand, it's what's so called the Thai herbal steam bathing. But from Europe, there's many other like sauna or Russian bath. That's also hydrotherapy too. And the other one is the hydroaerobics, which has been applied in the principle of hydrotherapy is to utilize the different kind of temperature of water that attach to the body and adjust our body autonomic nervous system, our body auto defense, our body balance of hormones and many other mechanisms in the body. The principle is when we do sauna, when we get into the hot temperature, our body, our visceral organ, heart, lung, metabolism will lower down the. When we jump into the ice pool, then the visceral organ has the activities. By doing this alternately, our system will be regulate to be more rapid for their own homeostasis.
At Balavi, the center has chosen this kind of method and applied to the modern exercise to create another type of aerobics. But instead of doing it on the land, thus, the exercise is practiced in the water.
In the past, we just know about the floor aerobic. But for aerobic, if you are obese, if you got pain on the knee, you cannot do it. Because just only half an hour,
it's too heavy.
You will hurry, it will injure yourself.
Yes.
So then if we put the aerobic exercise into the water, the buoyancy of water, it can reduce your body weight at that moment, and you can jump, you can play, you can do every kind of exercise without exerting yourself and without injury.
Right.
So this is what we try to made it to be something very unique for our natural health center. And nowadays, very delighted that it has been widespread all over Thailand, or even all over the world, I think so. Nowadays, for people with obesity, for people with chronic back pain, for people who such as elderly, usually elderly, if you leave them at home, he or she may sit still,
Sit all day.
a very sedentary life and make them very drowsy. And then how come the Alzheimer, Parkinsonism will come. So how to do? Let them to do hydroaerobic. Just only walk in the water. You can see this elderly, he can do it really joyfully.
And you can
it's
jump.
brighter and brighter.
You can do anything in there.
Yeah.
Apart from elderly people, anyone at any age can do this exercise. It may seem to be a light exercise, but the workout itself has massive impacts on the body as it improves cardiovascular performance over time. The pool provides a soft environment for workouts, so participants have no need to worry about falling, as the water supports the body in every position. Exercising in the pool also becomes such a trend amongst pregnant women, as the water also helps alleviate the feelings of fatigue because it's supporting so much of the body's weight. Well, that's all the time we have for today. For next week, we're going together to get a sun bath, but not for getting tan, but we're going to absorb all the goodness of sun rays. Stay tuned and see you again next week.
That's it for today's edition of Good Morning Asean. We'll see you again, same time, same place, same channel.
From 7:30 to 8 a.m. at KTTV. And I'm here near Shamlai Saklami.
And I'm Hatsurang Desha Putharang Si. สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีค่ะ